Let's get active. I'm Mona Flynn. Today we are going to talk about how to use a block in yoga. We could spend days talking about how to use the block and apply creative and accessible ways to many poses. But we'll practice a couple of poses today, and the points being made that props in yoga teach us the lessons of the pose. They make a pose accessible to each body. They create leverage patterns for traction, for support, for strengthening, for exploration. And they provide us a way to challenge ourselves, not just our body, but our mind. So let's start today with a little bit of a side angle pose. I have two blocks beside me, and I step my feet wide. I'm going to turn one foot out and bend in that knee, and then the other leg wider, and come into this warrior two that uses the same stance as our side angle pose. So come into the length of the pose that is yours. And today I'm going to have us use the block on the inside and then on the outside of the front foot. At first, come into warrior two. Warrior poses give us this sense of readiness. Anticipate the transition, enjoy where you are, feel your strength and how you rise from your foundation, and then begin to enjoy this fluid traveling over that front leg, coming down to park the elbow at the knee. For now, let's take the other arm and rest it behind, sliding it across the back body. We could choose to use just the leg and to say that the body, the frame of the body, is the first prop. BKS Iyengar used to refer to it that way. I can use my arm against the leg and encourage how the hip coils under and the rib cage turns toward the ceiling, and I am strengthening this inner thigh hip set of relationships. But what if I were to take the block to the inside of the leg and use it similarly? I have a different set of angles if I then continue to explore folding a little bit deeper. Some folks may be able to comfortably get all the way to the floor, but that might not be for everyone, and it might not be for every day. And if we get there in a hurry when we're not ready, we may find ourselves caving and rounding and collapsing and missing a lot of the strengthening and the conditioning, and hopefully not inviting injury by being in a hurry to get to certain destinations, right? It's a journey. And as you use this leverage pattern, it strengthens the shoulder, the back of the rib cage, it gives freedom to the other shoulder girdle, but also to the mind to explore, hey, where else can I give my attention to what I can enjoy in this pose and what opens to me. But then, what if we were to use the block on the outside? Now the leg presses out, and it is the outer line of the leg, the outer thigh. I might find that my legs draw toward each other even. I might have a different set of places that open, turning the rib cage a little bit more because I am coming more into the back body. So many ways that we can give the same set of actions to the other shoulder, but because the leverage pattern changes, then the experience becomes something that is different. It just gives us a chance to have variety. This is only good for us. Likewise, we would want to do the other side. So as you get there, recognize that using a block may also give us an opportunity to treat each side as needed if it is that we need to look over a certain injury or a place that needs a little extra TLC until we use the asymmetrical poses in a way that helps us build balance, right? Sometimes we have to accommodate a knee or a shoulder, and using a prop allows us to do that and to continue giving attention to how a pose might benefit each side. So here I can go from using the body as a prop, using the block on the inside, so I'm not hanging in this pose, but turning and extending, reaching from the back heel to the crown of the head, deciding which form of the pose I'm going to use as far as what the upper arm is exploring. Using the block on the outside, and then which height, right, without collapsing or rounding. How do I continue to extend and then rotate, turning on the axis of the spine, strengthening a different aspect of the hip. So as many leverage patterns as possible in our asana practice teaches us that we have this beautiful, very intricate body, and maintaining as many angles of movement gives us a chance to really extend ourselves into this world, yeah? Side angle pose, done 2 different ways. 2 blocks now, and let's explore a little bit of rib cage opening, and then perhaps a little bit of rest. So notice that I have a medium height block, and I can keep it so that it is wide because I want to use it as a shelf to rest my shoulder blades. Now, the other block is nearby. And if I were to rest my shoulder blades on this block, oh wow, that feels really wonderful. I can then support the weight of my head and use my breath to explore extension, teaching my spine that backbending poses needs me to learn to build mobility and attention to how we do that through the upper rib cage so we don't impose on the lower back. I am tractioning my neck. I can add a little bit more with elbows coming in. This becomes a preparation for headstand even, not just all of the back bending kinds of poses. And with the breath, this is not about a sit-up style movement. It is about exploring mobility of the rib cage and building it while there is the support provided by the block. So we learn to move from the upper chest and to connect the breath, to feel the support of the head so we are not collapsing through the back of the neck, keeping it safe. We could continue with this idea, legs straight and this reach into that line of the legs. It lends itself to more extension of the spine, these lines of opposites that counterbalance each other. How wonderful. Whether you continue to bend in your knees or keep your legs straight, we can take that second block and then have a place of rest. If I want to allow the height that meets how my body is willing to take on this back bend, the supported back bend in a resting position, I am taking advantage of the prop, and I'm taking advantage of gravity and noticing, do I need to turn the blocks lower? Can I stand to go higher on any given day? What is it like for the front of the shoulders? Where is there a need for anything more as far as support? What makes it unique to me so I can just quiet and build time, allowing the opening of the front body? And this is new, not just turning the blocks lower underneath you, but perhaps using blankets underneath the forearms to support not having such a stark opening of the shoulder just lets you ease into this front body and heart opening. When you're ready to come out of the pose, I would suggest that you spend a little bit of time noticing the effect, the fruit of the labor, the time spent, and continuing to have a little bit of rest time in Shavasana. So as your back body meets the floor, as you continue to choose any props to support restful Shavasana, notice the effect of not just your great twist, how the spine became more supple and opened up because of twisting, but how the back bend held on to that practice and grew it to more extension, more space. Is there more surface area in contact with the floor now along the back body? Do you feel spacious across the back of the shoulders? Is there more ease in it, taking a smooth, elongated breath? Explore your inner landscape. Feel how your body settles into the surfaces below you. Recognize that each day is different and we have something more to learn about ourselves in our practice, and therefore about ourselves in this world. And the props that you use help to teach you the lessons of the pose. You're welcome to stay here as long as you wish. When you are ready, bring your mind back to the present. Bring your knees to your chest. Roll to one side. Press up and sit. And honor time spent and the lineage of your practice. Namaste.